Honorable members, clerk, read the orders.
Orders of the day. Today, Monday, 17th February 2025 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have a communication to make. This regards a special General Assembly meeting for the County Assembly Forum. Today on Monday, 17th of February 2025. Honorable members, the County Assemblies Forum has invited honorable members of the County Assemblies for a special General Assembly meeting to be held on 19th of February 2025 to Friday, 21st of February 2025 at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, Nairobi City County. Noting that the aforementioned activity lies within the plenary sitting of the County Assembly, as per the approved calendar, this will call for altercation of the County Assembly calendar in the Tuesday. This will call for a motion to alter the calendar of the County Assembly to be presented on Tuesday, 18th of February 2018 at 2:30 afternoon. And therefore, Honorable Leader of the Majority and the Assembly Business Committee, take note of that. Honorable members, the implication of that is that if the days of the General Assembly is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with traveling as Tuesday, then we will have plenary sittings of tomorrow morning and 2:30. And then Leader of the Majority and Minority, you move a motion tomorrow at 2:30. Reasonably speaking, if you are to travel to Mombasa, then it's common logic that you travel the day before. But aware that Nairobi is not that far, then it's reasonable to adjourn in the afternoon at 3, at 4, at 5. And the same Tuesday, you will still be free in 2 hours' time to travel to Nairobi in preparation for the meeting on Wednesday. So, honorable members, I persuade you that we convene here tomorrow morning at 2:30 to clear the business scheduled for tomorrow and any other, and that meant for Wednesday this week. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Leader of the Majority Party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, before I lay these papers, Honorable Speaker, last week on Wednesday, I laid a paper which was titled the paper I laid, which was number 2 in the list of the papers I laid, was titled the list of nominees for appointment as members of the County Assembly, members of the Makueni County Bursary Committee. Honorable Speaker, we are in the process. We are in the bursary process. Honorable Speaker, I think the next process, the next bursary cycle will begin around end of this year, or probably when we pass the budget for the coming financial year. So, Honorable Speaker, after some consultations, I thought that this matter was not as urgent as it is, as probably as now, because we may need in order to evaluate, we may need to evaluate what actually happened during this budget cycle, especially on the bursaries. And Honorable Speaker, we may also need to take some examples of what actually transpired during this period, and we may need to benchmark probably with the CDF and other organizations which also offer bursaries, so that we may know the best model for offering these bursaries. So, Honorable Speaker, I was begging this House and your wisdom on this. I was begging that you may allow that I withdraw this particular report, particular paper which I laid. Then probably with your wisdom, you can refer this matter to the Committee of Education. And I have reasons for this, that giving examples of my ward, I think the committees which were doing the job there, actually, they didn't know it to my expectations, and I know that affects so many other members of this assembly. Also, we have examples of where probably the member got his hands dirty in the process and tried to be completely involved in the process. And we know some places, the bursaries were issued at the polling stations, probably the primary schools, and they were a bit effective. Honorable Speaker, because we have regulations and the ECM has also developed some guidelines, we may need to look at these things so that as we cook, in quotes, as we cook this particular process of bursary issuance, we may get the best for our county. So, Honorable Speaker, I wish to your indulgence on this so that we may know the way forward on the bursary, and if we can probably do something to better the process. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I now beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Assembly. 1, the report of the Office of the Controller of Budget on the field monitoring of budget implementation by the County Government of Makueni. 2, the Government of Makueni County Financial Year 2024-25 second quarter budget implementation report. 3, the Kibwezi Makindu Water and Sanitation Company Limited quarter report and financial statements for the period ended 31st December 2024. And 4, the Makueni County Executive State and Public Officers Carlon and Mortgage Fund quarterly report and financial statements for the period ended 31st December 2024. 5, the Water Municipality quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 6, the Kambu Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 7, the Kalawa Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 8, the Mukuyuni Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 8, that should be 9. The Kisau Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 10, the Matiliko Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 11, the Kilungu Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 12, the Tawa Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 13, the Kibwezi Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 14, the Sultan Ahmud Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 15, the Boni Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 16, the Makindu Sub-County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 17, the Makueni County Referral Hospital quarter report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 18, the Makueni County Fruit Development and Marketing Authority quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 19, the Makueni County Sand Conservation and Utilization Authority quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 20, the Makueni County Emergency Fund quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 21, the Makueni County Bursary Fund quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 22, the Makueni County Empowerment Fund quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 23, the Makueni County Receiver of Revenue quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 24, the Makueni County County Revenue Fund quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 25, the Makueni County Executive quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. 26, the Makueni County the Makueni County Assembly quarterly report and financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2024. And 27, the report of the Makueni County Public Service Board on the Makueni County Public Service compliance with the values and principles in Articles 10 and 232 of the Constitution of Kenya 2020. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, the papers laid by the leader of the majority, the report of the control of budget, on the field monitoring, budget implementation report, and the government of Makueni financial year, second quarter budget implementation reports, stands committee of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation to consider and report back to the House within 21 days. That notwithstanding, Clerk, the House business has not yet a formal communication to you on reconstitution of the Budget and Appropriation Committee. There's a requirement that that committee should be reconstituted, and that formal communication should come from you to the respective Committee of Account Assembly to do so. Further to that, the financial statement for the period that 1st of December to the period end that 1st of December 2024, as listed, stands Committee on Finance and Socioeconomic Planning, and to report back within 30 days. Those are 25 reports. Besides these 25, Chairperson, how many more papers do you have to consider? Other 24, and that's 48. How will you consider these reports? How will you factor them?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First of all, I thank God for having brought me back to this assembly this year. I think this is my first plenary sitting this year, 2025. Honorable Speaker.
What? We can't hear you. What do you say?
Honorable Speaker, yes, during our sitting today, we deliberated on the pending...
Welcome. It's your first sitting, eh?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
No, I know it's not your first sitting. You have been around, only that you are engaged.
No, I've been busy, you know.
Around the chamber.
Not around, but within. Otherwise,
Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. During our sitting today, we deliberated on the pending 24 reports that were at hand, but now you have committed another 25 to the committee. We were aware that that was just that is what we were waiting for, so that we can come up with a work plan on how to table this, how to consider these reports within the shortest time possible, and then we table them for other discussion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Well, we had, and I had given direction that you get an extra committee clerk from the finance department to help you analyze this report. Because they are technical in nature, there's very many more input. And therefore, clerk, I hope that is the case. I hope so. Otherwise, then one committee clerk should be considering the first 24, while another one should be considering this, and then make reports and progress. And that's how things are done elsewhere. So if that is not the case, may it be implemented forthwith. Chairperson, there is a report of, Chairperson, delegated legislation to table a report, followed by Chairperson, ICT education, internship. Chairperson, delegated, Vice Chair. Vice Chair. Vice Chair, delegated.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly. The report of the Committee of Delegated County Legislation and Public Finance Management, County Assembly of Makueni, Catering and Health Services Scheme, Fund Regulation 2024. I lay.
Chairperson, Public Education. Vice Chair. Who is the Vice Chair? Education.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly. The report of the Committee on ICT, Education and Internship on consideration of the nomination of County Bursary Committee member for the period 24-27. I lay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, delegated committee to give a notice of motion, followed by the Chairperson Committee on ICT and Education.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That this Assembly adopts the report of the Committee of Delegated County Legislation on the Public Finance Management, County Assembly of Makueni, Catering and Health Services Scheme Fund Regulation 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 17th February 2025.
Chairperson of Education, as you recall, the rule of the majority has raised an issue. I don't know whether members you have comments on this. Is that the report on bursary committee, according to the rule of majority, bursary allocations has just been concluded. The next award is going to be the next cycle of 12 months, and that notwithstanding the names in this report that were to be adopted, there's a feeling that there is further amendment required for the regulations, and therefore, instead of having these two amendments separately, then members may be given time to have that aspect of considering the recent exercise, and if there are ways in which the regulations can be amended, notwithstanding the names. Members?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, can the leader of majority highlight what exactly he feels needs to be amended, because so that we can know whether to support or not to support, because we feel that it was okay, and there were, if that is the same document that was used to award, or the same committee that was used to award, unless probably the elected members feel that it was not done well, they can highlight so that we are aware what they need amended. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of the majority.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert Speaker. Robert Speaker, in other words, just in a nutshell, what I said is that we may need a SWOT analysis on the process we have been going through, probably for some years, and SWOT analysis, for most of us who know, it's a framework for identifying, analyzing an organization's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, Honorable Speaker, looking at the recent exercise, we know there were some anomalies. We know that in my ward, we found the list to have some few characters who had gotten double allocation. We know there were anomalies in that some families were given, probably 2 kids were given out of probably the allowed by the regulations. The regulations only, and in fact the guidelines as developed by the Waziri allow only one child per family. So, Honorable Speaker, looking at this, I think it's like the identification which is done at the ward level, and I want to be very clear, at the sub-ward level, that identification at the sub-ward level, where we have a committee to look at the forms, where we don't even inform the public, because the public will just wait for that report from the committee. And eventually, after that committee, there is another committee at the ward level, which goes to sit down and identify the beneficiaries. So, Honorable Speaker, if we take an example of a ward like Kilili Kalamba, the member requested the governor that because the allocation was too huge, that they may go back, they may go down up to the primary schools, and they did that. In the primary schools, the scenario is that the children who apply bursary in that primary schools are known by the parents in that primary school. And that primary school will get probably an equal allocation from the bursary kitty. And when the parents meet there, of course, they will evaluate those kids without bias, because they know every parent, they know every kid, and they know if there is something probably in the records which is not right, they know. So, Honorable Speaker, I was requesting members that we may pen just this particular motion, that we may have time to look at how to strengthen those particular regulations and probably the guidelines, so that we may first do the SWOT analysis on the same process, because that cycle is almost over. If we now appoint this committee, Honorable Speaker, it will start work probably by this year when we allocate funds, probably even by November this year. So, Honorable Speaker, because we are not rushed by anything on this matter, I was requesting that we probably give the committee time to probably collect our views and collect views from the public. And if possible, Honorable Speaker, because this House one of our mandates is to do public participation, Honorable Speaker. We also make time to go to the public, do some public participation, gather their views, and present them to this House, Honorable Speaker. So I think that was the basis of my argument, Honorable Speaker. If it's supported, I know it's for the benefit of this House and the general public of Makueni. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. On the same issue, I think it's a good idea, but I have some kind of reservations, or rather, some kind of clarifications which I think needs to be done. Just because, sir, if you remember, we have had two processes of bursaries given within Makueni County. The first one had some challenges, different wards here and there. Now, as we are talking now, the second bursary process is ongoing. And I think as much as the decision is good, we cannot stop the bus when already it has passed. And we are only reading the number plate from the back. Parents out there are waiting for fees to help their children in schools. I think to my interest and to the interest of the people of Makueni, it would be better if we first let this process pass. We get to look at what could be the challenges, and then we address the challenges from a known point of view. It is true, there could be some challenges here and there. To me, I look at them as teething problems, but as far as this particular process is ongoing, I would like us to look at each individual ward, then we can look at the process if there are anomalies and address the anomalies individually so that we can have one conglomerate agreement. And I stand to my own decision and to my own suggestion, because I'm trying to imagine, if we start now interfering in the process now, and the parents are waiting for checks to take their children, how long will it take us before we normalize? So to me, I would say, let us actually clearly state which direction are we taking. Are we interfering with the current ones, or it is the future ones to be given? To me, that one is what we need to declare.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to respectively inform my deputy that we are not interfering with the current process, Honorable Speaker. What we are saying is that the checks are now in the process of being disbursed, and they can be disbursed without the committee, there is nothing which actually holds back the issuance of the checks. What we are saying is that we don't need to pass that county committee because it will not even start work now. The checks are in the process. What we are saying is that we look at now the bigger picture of this bursary, so that by around May, we may have a concrete answer to what could be the challenges, and we solve them together with the department, in fact. Thank you.
Member Fonzawe Kilingalamba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in fact, I rise to support the leader majority in his quest to make sure that bursaries are awarded fairly. So, Speaker, during the last this financial year, Mr. Speaker, I allocated 7 million Kenya shillings. So, Speaker, we were given some guidelines on how to disperse the bursary. But I felt that if you use that process, Mr. Speaker, and given that Zakika is a very huge ward with approximately 45 polling centers, I felt that, Mr. Speaker, I made the committee, or even whoever sits in that bursary committee, may not know the students by name, may not know the students who are in school or who should be awarded, Mr. Speaker. So what I did, Mr. Speaker, out of the 45 polling centers, we sat down and came up with a formula of awarding the bursary. And each polling center was given approximately 150,000, Mr. Speaker. The formula that I used, or that we used in Zakika, was very inclusive because we are going to that polling station, polling center, calling all the parents there, and actually they were identifying the beneficiaries themselves. Mr. Speaker, out of that process, each polling center from Zakika was getting 23 students, day scholars, 4 boarders, and 3 university students. Mr. Speaker, I can tell you even today, as we sit here, I have no complaint. We awarded 1,362 students, which is a very big number, Mr. Speaker. And I can tell you there is no complaint because we have put them in notice boards, we have put the records on the notice boards to show exactly what we did, and nobody has a complaint, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, if I must, because I don't want any member to pretend that you know even the students from your nearest polling station where you vote, Mr. Speaker. If we adopt this method that the Honorable Majority Leader is advocating, Mr. Speaker, it will be one of the best because it will avoid corruption. I had, and I even witnessed, Mr. Speaker, in one scenario, actually it was your polling station, that is Ware Primary School, where somebody was trying to be very cheeky. Instead of using the 3 names, for example, he was using Francis Motuko, Francis Munyao, Francis Brambrambra, so that the same person could benefit twice or even thrice when some other people had not gotten anything. Mr. Speaker, those people were very easily detected by the parents within that polling station. And that is how we came up with a very fair process of awarding the bursaries. So, Mr. Speaker, I would just urge the members to be keen and to adopt this method if we come to that discussion, Mr. Speaker, so that actually we can help our students, we can help actually to do away with the corrupt cartels. I even heard the majority leader saying the chairman from his ward has awarded one family 3 kids, one in university, one in boarding, another one in a scholar, Mr. Speaker. That is very unfair. And that is actually why, what I was trying to avoid. And I believe that is why he has decided to come up with such a proposal to be considered by this House, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that is very fair. I can tell you even without blinking an eye, Mr. Speaker, Yoango was awarded 2 students because they are orphans. They were given freely. Somebody tried to say, you know the speaker. He was told no. He deserves.
My uncle has no children.
No, your uncle, he has a daughter. He has a daughter who left to be with the Lord. And there are 2 kids from that family. They were awarded bursary, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you. With a lot of confidence, Mr. Speaker. So you can see the process was very, very fair. Yeah, now he knows. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, I wasn't aware. Honorable members, I think what the Leader of the Majority is saying, that the current process is not interfered, but arising from what is going on, and his ward as an example, he has so much that he feels can be used to enhance the ongoing amendment to approve these names and even amend the regulations further to seal the loopholes as we approach the next cycle of allocation, but not affecting this. Is that the case? So any member who would wish to speak on that, Leader of the Minority?
Speaker, thank you. It is unfortunate you are picking views from one side. We expected much from this side also.
I gave 3, then I will give 3 this side.
No, it should be alternating, Honorable Speaker.
No, Honorable Member.
No, it should be alternating. Because the views will move members.
Honorable.
No, Honorable Speaker, that is the practice. The practice is you can't pick one side to give views, which will pursue other members not to. You can protest, but that is the this is a fundamental democracy. It's not a monarchy. And I stand here for the people.
Order, Honorable Kalunda. I hope you are starting to contribute and don't quarrel us. I allowed the leader of majority to speak. By the time you requested, member for Ilima had even requested to speak to interject. I gave him an opportunity. He found himself getting it wrongly. I allowed the leader of the majority to give a point of information. Then the only other member who has spoken is member Fonzakik. And Honorable Elizabeth Mutindi did not contribute as such. She sought to know
Honorable
from the
Speaker,
leader.
I don't know whether you are getting my point.
Honorable Kalunda,
My point is very simple.
we
here,
are not
Honorable
arguing. I will give you an opportunity. Allow me to finish what I'm saying. Honorable Mutindi did not contribute. Honorable Kisungi rose to inform the deputy leader of the majority on what he's trying to. So Honorable Bishop was lost on the issue, which was referred back to the mover of this matter. And strictly speaking, only member who has now contributed to the matter at hand is member for Zawi Kilili Kalamba Ward. On my dashboard, I can see Honorable Mudike was the first to request, and she has not yet been given an opportunity. And Honorable Jen Mwandi was earlier, before any one of you had requested to contribute to this matter. So now that, as a speaker, I give opportunities to debate to issues that have been raised which are not material to debate, or I give the left and the right in terms. So any member who has contributed is one. Member for Nzawi. The rest who are clarifying. Now the floor is on your side, and any other member willing from your side.
Thank you. I will contribute, but...
it can be, but...
No problem. If you cut me off, there is no problem.
Member for Mazongaleni?
There is no problem. If you cut me off, that's fine.
Member for Mazongaleni, leader of minority.
I'm still on. You can put me off.
But I'm telling you, we can't, you either raise to contribute or to argue.
You know, I'm not arguing. This is a house of debates. This is a
Member
house of
for Masongaleni. Honorable Kalunda, all members can be wrong. You are given an opportunity, you wanted to speak. You have spent 3 minutes, we are arguing. The speaker has clarified the matter, you want us to argue again. Now I've given an opportunity, you want to say, I will speak, but what is the but for? You either contribute in respect to the motion and people of Kumbuli North and the party represent, given an opportunity, or allow others to do so. Member for Mazongaleni, proceed as leader of minority cools down.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I hope by allowing me to contribute, you are not putting me to some other war with my leader of minority, because he was on his feet to contribute for what the leader of majority had alluded.
I picked the immediate member.
Oh, okay.
And the majority side had contributed.
Which happens to be me.
Proceed, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to put my voice forward on this particular matter because I've been following the bursary matter for quite some time, keenly and closely, Mr. Speaker. And I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, from the ward I represent of Masongaleni ward, we go by the dictates of the Constitution because we are a country that is governed by law, Mr. Speaker. And our Constitution calls for public participation, Mr. Speaker. And on the bursary issue, Mr. Speaker, and this is in connection with the just concluded exercise of bursary issuance across the county, Mr. Speaker. In my ward, I agree there is the sub-ward bursary committee, there is the ward bursary committee, but my people, Mr. Speaker, dictated that they must participate fully in the exercise. And our lowest unit of distribution, Mr. Speaker, was the polling station of each and every part of Masongaleni ward, Mr. Speaker. This was done. People participated fully. And I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, if there is any form of bursary issuance exercise that is very transparent and fair, Mr. Speaker, is ensuring that your people participate to identify the needy cases across the world, Mr. Speaker. And by doing this, Mr. Speaker, we are not doing away with the bursary committees, Mr. Speaker, because when our people identify the needy cases across the world, Mr. Speaker, it is now the work of the committees to go and compile the list and then forward to the HQ for the award of the bursaries, Mr. Speaker. So I would urge, if this Honorable House, Mr. Speaker, would follow that particular procedure, it would be very beneficial, Mr. Speaker, to many residents of Makueni County, because I've had a case previously in my ward and in other wards, Mr. Speaker, where the bursary committees sat and decided to dish out the bursaries to cronies and friends, Mr. Speaker, hence disadvantaging needy cases in the ward, Mr. Speaker. So the formula and the criteria of the citizens of every particular ward, Mr. Speaker, identifying the needy cases is very crucial and beneficial to the residents of the particular ward, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Honorable Elizabeth Muli.
Honorable Speaker, I think I am confused from where I sit. What the Leader of Majority requested was the withdrawal of the membership of the County Bursary Committee. And I listened to members debate. They are debating on the procedure of awarding these bursaries. Honorable Speaker, I'm asking myself a question. How will this committee affect the so-called SWOT analysis that the majority leader was seeking from the county assembly? Because, Honorable Speaker, I still think the committee can be in place. We can carry out the SWOT analysis, and then if we need to improve, then we can only improve the regulations that are in place, because it's the regulations that are going to guide the operations of the bursary. So, Honorable Speaker, from where I sit, I think we need to have the committee in place. We can continue doing our audit on all other processes, whether bursaries were awarded well, whether they went to the polling station, whether they went to the sub-ward. These are things that can be still done even with the committee in place. So, Honorable Speaker, I don't think we need to prejudice the county committee in the basis of we need to do a SWOT analysis first. So from where I sit, we can have the committee in place and carry out any other audit in other operations of the county assembly. Thank you.
Honorable members, we may have to rest this matter. The request from members who wish to speak, I can see there are members who had spoken earlier. I will allow Honorable Vice Chair to make his remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to respect the concerns of our majority leader because they are valid, and I concur with my colleague, Honorable Elizabeth, that I think the concerns of majority leader are not for the committee members, but are about the procedures. Basing the concerns we had in Kikumbulio from Balu's ward, the report you got in the Honorable House, there were some concerns from various wards. And as a committee, we sat with the executive and we agreed, we come up with amendments concerning how the procedures and the guidelines about the bursaries are going to be disbursed. So, Honorable Speaker, sir, there are true concerns which are supposed to be looked at, and we given permission to just 14 days, we can come up with a good report on how the executive has come up with, because I think it's almost half a year since we sat with them, and I think they have done something recommendable which we can bring to the Honorable House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So in this case, are you persuaded that you will withdraw the motion to consider the issues, or you proceed? Or you present the matter to the committee?
We withdraw the committee.
You present the issue as requested by the leader of the majority to your committee, and then let us know by tomorrow whether you have resolved to withdraw the motion to consider the issues.
Please, I will appreciate if you guide me as my speaker.
Then fair enough.
Thank you, sir.
You will consider this matter in your committee.
Yes.
As requested by the leader of the majority.
Yes, sir.
And then you will advise us whether the committee has agreed to withdraw the motion as earlier, or the paper as earlier laid, or you wish to proceed with the names as tabled as we consider further amendments in future.
Thank you, Mr.
We
Speaker.
could get that information tomorrow at 2:30.
Thank you for your guidance.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Member for Kakumeni Muvawat, request for statement. Member for Emali Mulala Ward to request for statement. Deferred. Member for Kia Ward, request for statement. For Kia. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Article 185, 3 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 39(2) of the County Governments Act 2012, revised 2020, and Standing Order 50 of the Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders, I rise to a request for a statement from the Chairperson, Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services regarding the expenditure of funds for the purchase of seats to organized groups in Ukia Ward under the Social Protection Program, OVC, GBV management and support to vulnerable groups, PWD, aged and youth. Honorable Speaker, in the financial year 23-24, Ukia Ward allocated 270,000 for the purchase of seats to organized groups in the ward under the Social Protection Program, OVC, GBV management and support to vulnerable groups, into brackets PWD, aged and youth. Honorable Speaker, in June 2024, the seats were purchased and delivered as had been planned. However, upon inspection by the Project Management Committee, the delivered seats were found to be of poor quality and were rejected by the PMC. Honorable Speaker, the occurrences were reported to the department, which sent another team to inspect the seats. Upon inspection, the team from the department, just like the PMC, noted that the seats were of poor quality and made a report recommending returning of the delivered seats to the supplier for the supplier to deliver better seats. Honorable Speaker, however, to date, the seats have not been redelivered by the supplier as has been recommended by the inspection team from the department, and no communication on the delivery has been given. Honorable Speaker, the chairman should therefore clarify the following. 1, they provide the name and contact details of the supplier of the seats as was awarded during the tendering process. 2, whether the supplier was paid, if yes, how much was paid and who authorized the payment when the seats delivered were rejected. 3, the specifications of the seats given to the supplier for delivery versus the specification of the seats delivered. 4, the report of the inspection team from the department in which the recommendations to deliver the seats were made, clearly showing that when the seats were delivered and the dates the inspections were done. Attach delivery notes and goods receipts notes. Number 5, why the supplier has not collected the rejected seats, which are currently lying in the ward administrator's office, and who is responsible for the security of the seats while there. 6, whether the department is aware that the supplier has not delivered better quality seats as had been directed. 7, if yes, what has caused the delay and what actions has the department taken to ensure that the seats are delivered as was directed? And the last one, when will the seats be delivered? Thank you.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request to be given 14 days for the committee to consider the matter and bring a report to this House.
40 days?
Yes.
Requester? Fair enough, never do so. Next order.
Order number 8, motion. The report of the Committee on Infrastructure, Transport, Public Works, Housing and Energy on the poor workmanship in the installation of culverts, universal roads in Tanke Ward. Resumption of debate interrupted on 12 February 2025 at 2:30 p.m.
Honorable members, the previous sitting before time lapsed, Chairperson Committee on Transport that moved a motion listed in order paper under order number 8. The question was seconded, a debate was taken, and was the motion responded? And the motion was not responded due to lack of quorum. Mover of the motion, you may respond to the motion before I put the question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing the committee to present the motion. Mr. Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the members of this House who did present their valuable contribution and debate. And Mr. Speaker, I would like to say that on our oversight role, we as an assembly, we have to get things right from budgeting process all the way to implementation of each and every project, so that all the projects that are supposed to benefit the people of Makueni can give value for money and benefit the people of Makueni and help develop the county government. Or I would like to say that all the projects have to be done the proper way. So, Mr. Speaker, allow me to request this House to pass the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that is assembled of the report of the Committee on Infrastructure, Transport, Public Works, Housing, Energy on the poor workmanship in the installation of culverts on various roads in Tange Ward laid on the table assembly on 9th of October, year 2024. Will as many as of the opinion say aye? Will as many as of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I direct that the report of the Committee on Infrastructure, Transport, Public Housing, Energy on the poor workmanship in the installation of culverts various roads in Tanke Ward as approved by the Assembly this afternoon be conveyed to the County Executive Committee member responsible for this department, the Governor, to the Deputy Governor, to County Executive Committee member for Finance, for implementation, that a report on the same be laid to this House upon the expiry of the timeline provided in each recommendation. Next order. Honorable members, I direct that we skip then order number 9 to 10.
Order number 11, motion. The report of the Committee on Water, Irrigation and Sanitation on oversight exercise on the county water projects for the financial year 2023-2024 as conducted on 8th and the 9th of August 2024.
Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that this Assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Water Irrigation and Sanitation on oversight exercise on the county water projects for the year 2023-2024 as conducted on 8th and 9th August 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 15th October 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, with your indulgence, if you allow me, I'll just move in direct to the executive summary of the same report. Mr. Speaker, sir, the County Assembly exercises oversight over the County Executive as set out in the Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya. 2010 as read together with the Section 8 of the County Governments Act 2012. Further, the County Assembly Committee on Water and Sanitation exercises oversight for the Department of Waters and Sanitation on all matters outlined in Part 2 of the 4th Schedule of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, and executes its mandate in accordance with the Makueni County Assembly, Standing Order 217, subsection 5. Mr. Speaker, sir, Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010 declares that under economic and social rights, every person has the right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities. The right to water is a basic human right, which is recognized as such both under international and national laws. In the year 2023-2024, Supplementary Budget 2, the County Government of Makueni, through the Department of Water and Sanitation, allocated 627,694 shillings for implementation of water projects across the county wards. Out of the allocated amount, expenditure as at 30th June 2024, the department had spent a total of Kenya shillings 449,971,142 in implementation of various projects in the wards. Absorption rate of the project status being 72%. Mr. Speaker, sir, the County Assembly Committee on Water and Sanitation, through the above stated report, did organize for an oversight activity on water projects on 8th and 9th August 2024. For effective and efficient running of the exercise, members of the County Assembly were grouped into 15 groups, which each group visiting towards over the 2-day exercise. The methodology applied is that, Mr. Speaker, the group undertook its activities, employed open interviews to the community and sustainability committee members, took notes while talking with the respondents, and also made observations. The groups took note in reference to the following enumeration. Terms of reference. Number 1, name of the project and amount funded. Number 2, scope of works and a name of contractor. Number 3, implementation status, into brackets, state of the heart date and completion date of the project. If not complete, the reasons for the delay. Number 4, whether there was involvement of the PMC during the implementation of the projects. Number 5, if the project is stalled, state the reasons. Number 6, its utility, purpose, or impact to the community. Number 7, whether the project is solar or electricity powered. Challenges, number 8 were challenges faced during implementation of the project. Number 9 was there public participation done to propose the project. Number 10, proposed recommendations, if any. And number 11, any other information necessary concerning the project. That is the scope which the 15 groups used. Mr. Speaker, sir, out of going through that scope, the following are the committee findings which came forth to us. The committee considered the oversight reports and amend the following general observations or findings. 1, that most of the water projects undertaken in the year 2023-2024 have been implemented, done to completion, while a few are still ongoing. Number 2, the Department of Water and Sanitation has distributed water to various households or institutions in most parts of the county as opposed to the previous years. Number 3, vandalism was evident in quite a number of water projects done during the year under review. For example, the Koosio, Miambani Water Project, Kilui Water Project in Kikumbulu South Ward, and the Ngamba Boho in Guma Ward, among others. Number 4, that most of the water projects done were proposed during the public participation from budget estimates, and that the PMCs were involved during the implementation of the projects. Number 5, most of the water projects done have not been fenced to enhance security, and those few which were fenced, some have been destroyed or else vandalized, giving the projects or leaving the projects exposed. Some of the water projects, the manholes, gate valves, have not been fitted with the security items like padlocks, thus exposing them to vandalism and unregulated water control. For example, the Venable or in Makindo Ward. Number 7, most of the projects done are solar powered. Number 8, some of the projects have many anomalies due to poor workmanship by the contractors. For example, Mulili Adi Dam and the Venable or in Kakowaya Dam. Mulili Adi Dam in Makindo Ward, Udhunimbo or in Bono Ward, among others. Number 9, there was delay in execution of the projects occasioned by heavy rains experienced in the months of October and November 2023 and March and April 2024. Number 10, most of the water projects are functional but have shortage of storage tanks, while for others, the tanks have not been fitted with overflow pipes. Number 11, the habilitation of water line in some projects by Kibmawasco were done to completion, but some lines are observed to be leaking and need to be repaired by the company. For example, Kibmawasco water line, cut line Nyayo, Makaani, Adhikikaoni water projects in Kikumbulu North Ward. Some water projects which have been faced, some are stalled, and there is need for the department to fast track. Number 13, as the committee finding, some projects require additional funding for completion. Inchi, Masionyeki Concrete Dam in Tulimani Ward. Number 14, available water supply in some visited projects is untreated, exposing residents to waterborne diseases. For some projects, the submersible pumps were found to be faulty and needed to be repaired or replaced. For example, Matondobo or in Bon Ward, Tuliman Boho, and Mukameni Boho in Guma Ward. Some of the water projects have been turned to completion, but the community cannot access water due to issues of land disputes where there were no proper agreement documentations between the county government and the landowners. As a committee, we came up with the recommendations, Mr. Speaker, sir, and these are the recommendations which we have come up with. Number 1, the Department of Water and Sanitation should fast track completion of the ongoing or stalled water projects before onset of October or November 2024 rains, and also start the procurement process for the projects for this 2024-2025. All county government projects water projects should be initiated, undertaken, and concluded in time. That is the financial year they were budgeted, to ensure all the intended beneficiaries of the projects access the intended services. Number two, since poor workmanship was evident in some water projects, the department should compel the contractors to redo the works before payments are done, and also before onset of October/November rains. During the year 2024-2025, it should be a practice that before payments are done, there is need for public participation on the project sites for the public to ascertain the work done and the area representative to successfully do the oversight role. Number four, to ensure security in most of the county water projects, the Department of Water and Sanitation should work on measures to collaborate with the national government to promote security issues and curb instances of theft and vandalism across all government water projects, and as provided for in the Section 70 of the Makueni County Water Act 2020 on vandalism of water, sanitation, and sewerage. This should be done within 60 days after adoption of this report. Number five, the Department of Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration, and the special programs through their ward development officers should come up with a program that enhances public education and awareness in collaboration with the Department of Water and Sanitation in safeguarding initiated water projects for long-term sustainability. This should be done within 60 days after adoption of this report, and the program should be shared with the County Assembly Committee on Water and Sanitation. Number six, through subsequent budget allocations, it should be a practice that the county water engineers should ensure there is proportional allocated budget for fencing, sourced from the project allocation budget, so as to ensure the initiated water projects are being fenced to prevent access by unauthorized persons and access by domestic animals. Number seven recommendation is the Department of Water and Sanitation should consider flushing of the existing and the existing and the non-functional water projects and the further electrical works on the solarized projects in Jingitini, Bo or in Care Ward. This should be done within 60 days after adoption of this report. In the next financial year, budget 2025-2026, the department should endeavor to have a hybrid system of power supply in most of the projects in order to curb issues of power failure for the water supply. Number nine, the department to consider allocating funds in the subsequent budgets in the year 2025-2026 and the change designs for manholes and the chambers and ensure they are covered with the concrete to ensure security. Number 10, the county government should allocate funds in the subsequent budget and endeavor to improve water supply, sanitation, and better water resource management, which will boost economic growth and contribute significantly to poverty reduction, as well as help in preventing waterborne diseases. Number 11, the Department of Water and Sanitation should always ensure that the water pipes being installed by contractors, engineers in this year 2024-2025 for distribution of water are good quality to avoid bursting of the pipes. Number 12, the Department of Water and Sanitation to consider allocating funds in the subsequent budgets in the year 2025 and 2026 for water purification systems for drinking water. Number 13, and the last, the Department of Water and Sanitation should ensure that each specific recommendation for each specific project, as highlighted in this report, is implemented as per the specific timelines given therein. Mr. Speaker, I stand to acknowledge you and the clerk of the County Assembly for the logistical support which you accorded the committees during the oversight exercise. I take this opportunity to also thank the members of the County Assembly for their commitment and an unrelenting kind of involvement in input of the entire exercise. Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of the committee, it's my pleasant duty to present the Honorable House the committee's report on the oversight exercise on the county water projects implemented in the year 2023-2024 for consideration and adoption. As Speaker, sir, from what I have read, you realize that in this count of Makueni, we have a lot of issues which we need to address as far as water is concerned. One of the key things which I cannot leave this floor without mentioning is the fact that we are incurring a lot of cost on grounds of vandalism. Vandalism has become an issue in most of the water projects, and the market of the vandalized items seems to be increasing. I would wish to say that as the House, we need to consider and look into details all our wards from where we come from, because it's a matter which which has raised a lot of concern. How I wish that most of the members we may involve the administration in terms of curbing the vandalism exercise across the all count, as well as our count government putting in machinery to arrest the issue of vandalism, which has become very hectic to most of the areas and the residents in terms of water, because they have become an hindrance and harbor a lot of lack of supply to the people. With those few remarks, I would call upon my honorable member or my colleague in this consent to second the motion. Honorable Brian Zoka. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I propose a question that is assembled of the report, the Committee on Water, Irrigation and Sanitation on the oversight exercise, the County Water Project for the financial year 2023-2024, as conducted on 8th and 9th of August year 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly of 15th of October year 2024. The floor is open. Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I take this opportunity to thank the House for supporting the motion, and I hope the recommendations will be taken into consideration. Thank you.
Honorable members, I put the question. This is assembled of the report of the Committee on Water, Irrigation and Sanitation, the oversight exercise on the county water project for the financial year 2023-2024, conducted on 8th and 9th of August year 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 15th of October year 2024. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, before I give directions, I find the report of the Committee on Water is one of the best drafted reports on general oversight. I wouldn't be wrong to ask some committees may need to benchmark with your committee. I like the recommendations of the timelines. So it's fairly above C+. Therefore, above C+ can be an A. Surely, strictly speaking, you've improved. We would say it's a good B. But the Committee on Water has improved fairly, and if we take our reports as such, even the executive committee members will find it easier to implement. Therefore, having put the question and the House approved, I direct that the report is conveyed to the executive committee member for water, the executive committee member for devolution, the governor and the deputy governor. Thank you. Honorable members, we have about 1 hour and 5 minutes to 5. I have had quarrel with the table office because leader of the majority will remember this morning we raised this matter. That would have taken 3 more motions on the pending business that we have. And whoever compiled this motion had in mind that we'll have time to debate the report of the Committee on Education, but even then, that was not enough. We have so much business that we need to consider. There are minimum of motion should be this order paper. I'm still yet to see the reports of the Public Accounts Committee that are due. Honorable members, if we could consider that tomorrow and perhaps in the afternoon, we'll clear some backlogs of the last financial year of motions and bills that are pending. When is the agriculture bill coming up? What is it, 2:30, but we are not available. It should have been slated today. We are prioritizing business that is not time bound. Tomorrow 2:30, Wednesday. Tomorrow 2:30. Okay. That being the case, honorable members, time now being 15. Before the leaders of majorities and minorities, I'm aware executive has activities that on many occasions we are invited to attend. I do not see why there cannot be a communication in those offices so that the office of the Speaker, which is represented by the Speaker Deputy and 5 other members, the leader of the majority deputy, minority deputy, whips and the deputy, I think one of you will be sufficient to represent us in those meetings. It will not be useful to have over-representation, especially of the leadership. And if all of you parade around an executive activity, it demonstrates that you have no time for your business. Yes, so a representation for members of the assembly by one in the leadership, on the majority and minority, one from the office of the Speaker, a member, and if you are relevant in that particular region, would be useful. And I presume that even one member of leadership or 2 represents us all, unless you are a member of that particular ward. It is not in doubt. There is no one who has a motion to impeach the governor at the moment. So you don't have to be around him to demonstrate that you are working with him. For now, I've not seen one. So hanging around him will not prove anything. Prove yourself here for your people, and when it will be your turn for your ward, then we will come. So members, create time, be here. So let us try to conclude our business. And let me say this, honorable members, the next 6 months, for those who are serving their first term, there's going to be a lot of activities in your wards. And we may not even get time. We will get to a point where we may have to agree on which day we will make quorum to clear business for the week. So as early as now, between now and the end of June, all the bills and requisite bills and information, let us try as much as possible to conclude them. At that time, we'll be following other competitors on ground. So let's create time for ourselves and for committees so that we may whip as much as possible. Honorable members, time now being 16:00. The House stands adjourned until tomorrow, 18th of February 2025 at 09:30 hours.